What's good? Welcome back to Barbecue Chicken, Fluke Sports. Nah, I'm gonna stick with the Mark Robles show because I like the idea of the. I don't know why there's a sock here. I like the idea of the sports show and the sports name, Fluke Sports Barbecue. I don't know, but it's not just a sports show. Yes, I'm gonna talk about a lot of sports because I love sports. I want to be a sports broadcaster, analyst, whatever it may be. But I'm also talking about my faith in Jesus. I'm also talking about interesting conspiracies. I'm also talking about life. Whatever comes up, I want to talk about it all. I'm not just trying to cover sports, even though that's what I'm naturally good at, covering sports. I want to do it all. I want to cover anything and everything. So whenever it comes time that I get a following, or maybe the two people that have viewed my thing and say, okay, this guy's alright, you could say, yo, I seen something about this on blah, blah, blah. You should talk about this. All right, let me see the comments. All right, bet. Let me see that. Let me see what's up with that. I want it to be like interactive with the people that watch. So whatever you want to see me talk about and whatever you want your opinion or whatever your opinion is, if you want that to be known to the public, comment, yo, this is my opinion, blah, blah, blah. That's what I think. All right, bet. This is what Blase thinks. This is what I think. This is what I've researched, what I've found. But that's why I'm just sticking with the Mark Robles show. Keep it simple. And don't want to generalize it towards anything specific because I don't do one thing in specific. I do everything. But with that being said, today I want to talk about Draymond Green. Dude, I don't care what nobody says. I love that guy. He is so funny. He's also fun to watch. And he brings this aspect to the game. It's an intangible effect he has. It's not his stats. It's not his scoring. But it's just the presence he has on the court. He is criminally underrated. And he is criminally criticized for what he does. There's a couple things I want to talk about Draymond Green today in specific. I'm going to stay on him because this is just a very hot topic right now and a lot to say. But the first thing, like I was saying, his effect on the court. His presence. You always know when Draymond is not even just on the court, but in the arena. You know when he is coming off the bench into the game. You know when he's on the bench. You probably know when he's in the tunnel coming out. You definitely know when he's on the court because he's saying something to you. He's talking. He's playing his game. He brings this, I don't even know, attitude. It's just mainly presence. Attitude, presence. He brings this effect to the game that nobody brings to the game anymore. You don't have guys in the league that when they step on the floor, they don't even got to be dropping 20 points to help their team to a win. It could just be his mindset, the way he plays, how hard he plays, how he hustles, how he's in your head. He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care if you're LeBron James, Joseph Nurkic. He doesn't care who you are. He's going to do his thing, and he's going to put a mental toll on you. I mean, the only other player I can think of that does something like that is Patrick Beverley. Of course we know Pat Bev. That's what he does. But I think Draymond does it at a different level. People literally think he's crazy, which he might be. I mean, I'm not justifying him turning Jordan Poole into a punching bag. I'm not justifying him kicking dudes in the nuts and hitting Joseph Nurkic in the face. But that's, even though it's frowned upon, it's a part of his game. And I'm not saying he's got to do that to play his game. But it's just, he gets so into it. He's very emotional. He's very in touch with his personal aspect of what he sees basketball to be. And he's not changing that for anybody. It may not be the brand of basketball that I play when I used to play high school or when I play at the rec or anything, because obviously, I mean, I'm just playing pickup basketball. But there's people out there that when you play pickup basketball, you know, they have that aspect to it. There's people that, when I played in high school, they had that aspect where they just had that attitude. And in the NBA, Draymond brings that. Everyone needs that player. You hate playing against them. You love when they're on your team, unless you're Jordan Poole. Dude, he clocked Jordan Poole. Not the game out of him. Once again, he shouldn't have done that. But seriously, there's something about Draymond that even though people hate it, you can't help but notice the effect he has on the Warriors team when he is present. You can't deny it. He does something to them. He makes them better in a way that isn't like a LeBron James, where he's finding you open, he's doing everything. It's a different effect that he has on his teammates that makes them better. And I don't even know how to explain it. Probably got to ask him that one day, but it's amazing in my opinion. I think what he does to the team around him, very, very valuable. So obviously we just talked about his effect on the team. Now I kind of want to talk about people, like the NBA fans, contradicting themselves. Now, obviously, I can't speak for every NBA fan because I'm only one person. I've only seen so many comments and so many takes on Draymond, but you always see people in the comments of an Instagram post or a TikTok post saying, we don't have the old brand of basketball anymore, it's soft. Because somebody will post an old clip of some 80s, 90s, 2000s era, early 2000s basketball of guys going after it. Bill Laimbeer and the bad boy Pistons just taking Jordan out, like putting hands on him. You'll see things like that, and people will comment, we don't have that anymore, we miss real basketball, right? But then when you see Draymond Green playing like a psychopath and playing that brand of basketball, everyone wants to say he needs help. What's wrong with him? He didn't learn nothing. Now, I'm not saying these are the same people saying each of these things, because there could easily be the fans that miss that and the fans that are okay with the sissy basketball. But there are definitely people out there who are looking at the old NBA and they're looking at Draymond and saying, oh, we want old basketball, but then they're saying, oh, Draymond's crazy. Maybe Draymond is crazy. Maybe he's a little bit of a psychopath on the basketball court. But that is the brand of basketball that people want to see. And then when they see it played through Draymond, they don't want to see it no more. Because reality hits them, they're like, yo, this guy plays the old brand of basketball. He plays, if you come for me, I'm going to knock your tooth out. If you come for me, I'm going to hit you with an elbow. I'm going to put hands on you. I'm going to make my presence felt. You might not just feel my presence mentally, but you're going to feel it physically because I'm going to lay hands on you. And, dude, it's amazing to me how people will say one thing and then see Draymond play and say the other. You can't do that. If you want to see that basketball, you better be in that same comment section saying, yeah, Draymond. That's what we want to see as fans. That's what we pay a lot of money to see. Now, this ain't no WWE. This ain't no UFC. I know I wouldn't do that if I was an NBA player. I probably wouldn't act like that. I personally love the way Kawhi Leonard plays. Silent killer. He's not going to speak too much. He's not going to do nothing crazy. He's not going to try to hurt you. He's going to give you a bucket. But Draymond is not that guy. He never will be that guy. You can put him through years of therapy. He's going to come back the same dude. And that's what I love about him. He's not willing to change for anybody that is advocating for a soft brand of basketball or advocating for him being a psychopath, which I'm not saying he isn't. I don't know much about him. He could be crazy. He could be the most mentally sane person I've ever met. I never talked to him. Most likely won't. I don't know. We'll see what God's got in store, but he brings that old brand of basketball, and I think it's great. And I don't think it's fair for people to be saying, we want that basketball. But then when Draymond starts playing it, they don't want to see it no more. Because then reality hits. They're like, oh, this is what old basketball was like. This is what it was like for Jordan going down the lane getting hit with elbows. This is what it was like when the bad boy Pistons had Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman and Isaiah Thomas, and they had that whole crew. They had Joe Dumars. This is what they were playing. This is how they were doing it. And they don't want to see that. They think they do until they see Draymond doing it. Nah, we don't want that no more. And, at the end of the day, he's going to be him. And I think that is very, very, I'd say consistent. Just very consistent. You know what you're going to get out of Draymond. And so that covers Draymond Green and what he brings to the table. How it's an effect that is very different from a lot of players. Like I said, kind of like that Pat Bev effect. Just his energy and his drive and his emotions and his physicality. And then the brand of basketball that was played back in the day that people apparently want to see, or they don't want to see it when he plays it. That covers two very big points for me that I've been seeing, because I want to talk about that. Because obviously we just saw Joseph Nurkic and Draymond get into it again when the Warriors played the Suns. Curry finally hits a big shot in the last moments. We've been waiting to see that out of Curry. He's hit big shots, but it's never like that last second buzzer beater that puts him up. Besides like that one really deep one in OKC. I may be mistaken if I missed a couple, but we saw Draymond and Nurkic get into it again. And I remember Nurkic had some words after the game saying he still hasn't learned nothing. And that's like I was saying before. There's nothing for him to learn. He knows what he does is working. He's getting the reaction out of you. He's doing exactly what he wants. Oof. Excuse me. He's doing exactly what he wants. And he's getting the reaction he wants. And he's affecting the game the way Draymond affects the game. And I honestly hope... Okay, so I hope that he doesn't start hitting people in the face and hitting people in the balls, because that can be a little extra. But I don't want to see him change this game. Because you can play hard basketball without hitting somebody in the face or punching Jordan Poole, turning to Rocky Balboa at practice. You can do that without doing extremities such as those. But he can still play his basketball, and he can still be him and do exactly what he does. So I hope to see him do what he does, just without literally hurting people, because, we don't want to see you guys get hit in the nuts. We don't want to see you guys get poked in the eye, because that don't hurt. I know when I'm driving in the lane playing basketball and I get poked in the eye, bro, that sucks. But yeah, that about covers it for Draymond. That was a really big point I wanted to cover. And some other stuff going on in basketball. We've seen the Warriors. Just stick on the Warriors for now, I guess. In the last 7 games, we're 6-1. I feel bad for Clay, bro. I really feel bad for Clay. Okay, so actually, I feel bad for him, but at the same time, I don't. And here's why. Because we've seen Clay say in the postgame when LeBron and them came back 3-1 against the Warriors how he guessed LeBron got his feelings hurt and stuff. But now we're kind of seeing Clay's feelings get hurt in today's game. He wants to be the guy he used to be, which he isn't at the moment. And I can understand his frustration. But he's got to realize 2 things. A, you are a grown man. And B, you are getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball. Yes, you've worked extremely hard your whole life. You've dedicated your life to the game. But you are blessed with that work ethic, and you are blessed to play a game that you love. You are blessed to make money and make millions at that, doing something that you enjoy. So you got to be a man, bro. You got to realize what's going on in your life. Look at Russell Westbrook. He could be starting on a lot of other teams in the league. Very valuable player. But he's swallowing his pride and realizing it's best for the team if I come off the bench. Or whatever the situation may be. And once again, I do feel for Clay. You want to play the way you used to play. You want to make those shots. You want to be that guy. But you're not always going to be that guy. You're not always going to be the number 1 option. You're not always going to be the guy hitting crazy shots. You're not always going to be the guy playing in the 4th when it comes down to the wire and you need your best players in the game. I'm not saying that he can't regain that. I'm not saying he can't get back to the player he was. Because he's got time. I don't think Clay's that old, right? I think Steph's 35. Clay isn't that old. He's got time to kind of get back to who he was. Clay is, how old is he, bro? He's only 34. A lot of players exit their prime at 34. Could be him, but you never know. And now there is that one interview after the game where they were asking Clay how he felt about not being the guy in the 4th. And yes, he said that whatever he said, it was positive for his teammates. But you could tell he was kind of forcing it. You could tell that he understood what was happening, but he didn't like it. And I feel like he's got to get used to it, You got to still be a good teammate. Because we saw the clip where Steph was trying to talk to him and Clay's getting all mad on the bench and he won't talk to Steph. Bro, come on. You're playing team basketball, bro. You're not a UFC fighter. It's not all you. You don't get to go to the corner and have someone talk to you and tell you what to do and then you have to go in and do it. Yeah, you have your coach telling you to do things, but you're not the only guy on the court. You got to be there for your team, bro. You got to settle down in the middle of the game when you're pissed off, when you're angry, when you want to be doing something you used to be doing, and be there for your guys. I saw a clip recently of someone hitting a big shot for the Warriors, and Klay was the only guy sitting on the bench, upset, being selfish. And I obviously don't know how he's dealing with that at this moment in time. He might be better next game. He might come to terms with it. But that's not what I've seen so far. And I think he really needs to be supportive of his team. His morale and his effect on the squad is very big. He's got a big role on that team. Even if he's not a big scorer anymore, he's a champion. He's played against some of the best players of all time, LeBron James. He's made it deep playoff runs. He's hit big shots. He's scored, 50, 60 points on 11 dribbles. He has accolades. He's a vet. You bring more to the game than just the physical basketball side of it, Klay. You also bring that leadership. You are a guideline for the guys in the league that see you playing, and they say, okay, Klay's doing that. All right. You got to remember you're a role model, bro. You do a lot of good things on the court. But you also got to do those good things when you're off the court. You got to have that other effect. The same way Draymond has that kind of mental effect on guys. Klay's got to have that mental effect where he's boosting up those young dudes, letting them know what's good, what's not good, being that vet, being that guy who knows what's up, and leading those younger dudes. And I believe he'll come to that. I believe he'll be fine with it. But once again, it's not easy to go from being the guy he was to really struggling and not playing the basketball that he knows he can play, that we know Klay can play. We know Klay can still play at a high level. We know Klay can still make those tough shots. We know Klay can still play in the fourth quarter. But at this current moment, that's not the case. And of course I feel for him. But once again, he's a grown man, and he's making millions of dollars to do something he loves. And he's just got to be okay with that. Maybe next year he'll come back shooting 40% from three, averaging 20 a game, right? We never know. But he's just got to be okay with what's going on and make it work. Be a team player. This ain't all about you, brother, you know. I think he's got it, though. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll figure out what's going on. I think he'll be able to kind of swallow his pride and realize what's best for the team. And they'll figure something out. But that's all I got for today. Just a couple of little things I want to talk about. Obviously, it's just me today. I think Gabe's in Puerto Rico, still with his family. So we'll see Gabe around here next time when we have the next show, depending on whatever we talk about. I appreciate anyone who's watching. Jesus loves y'all. You know, that's my Lord and Savior. I thank him for giving me this opportunity to do the things I do, to be able to have a family that supports me, a school system to be able to do these things. I just thank Jesus for that, and thank you all for watching, if anyone is watching at all. All right.